Do you ever sit down and think to yourself, man, I really want to make something, a song, a game, something, just anything, and then you realize you have no idea how to do that? Yeah, that was me like 3 days ago when I was making the main menu theme for a little game I was making, and I realized I had never made music a day in my life. So I'm going to teach you, well, not teach, this is not a tutorial at all. I'm just going to show you that it's totally possible to make music without knowing anything about music. You could do it. Yeah, trust me, it's easy. A little bit under a week ago, I decided that I wanted to make a game. So I opened up, Python, because it's the only coding language I know, and I just imported the Pygame module and was like, okay, let's try this. I know Python isn't really made for making video games, but I wanted to do something with it, I have to. So I did a little bit of this, and then a little bit of this, and then a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of everything, really. A little bit of all the stuff. And now I have this. It's just a little battle box with the Undertale soul in it. It's movable and all that. And that's all I really have right now. I didn't even give the box collision or anything. It's just, I don't have any menu or anything like that, because I didn't do any of that, right? Because as soon as I was done with that, I decided might as well make a menu, to start up the game. So now I have this, right? When you boot the game, it's usually going to show you this. I just got rid of the main menu earlier, and I haven't really added any functionality. I'll probably just have key press Z, and then it'll switch to the actual main game screen. That's probably how it's gonna work. But that doesn't matter right now, because after I made the main menu, I thought to myself, wait, this is a video game. It needs music, right? So instantly I'm off, trying to find everything that can help me make some music. So immediately, like any person would, I immediately went to finding, the best free DAW, or tutorials on how to make video game music. As you can see, I got two that I've watched a little bit of right here. So, you're gonna want to watch some tutorials first. And of course, you have to learn these things, right? After a while, I had settled on Reaper as my software of choice, seeing as it gives you a 60-day free trial. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to pay $60 to $50, however many, for a commercial license on one of these. I'm not even using it for commercial purposes. I don't make any money off these videos, and when I'm done with the game, it'll just be a free download, I don't know, in the Discord or something. So I'm not using it for business, so this is fine. This is not illegal in any way, shape, or form. This is a completely legal action, okay? Now, the first thing everybody's going to tell you to do is to make a melody. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how to make melodies. And to this day, I still don't know how to make a melody. I haven't even put a melody in my main menu theme, but music can be fine without a melody. So I'm chilling on that shit. Alright, the first thing I wanted to do was find good drums. Now, because I'm an insecure little shit about the fact that I haven't paid for Windows, there's an Activate Windows thing right down there, I don't usually use display capture. But since I watched back the footage and noticed that you can't actually see the piano roll if I only do a window capture, then you'd have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So anyway, when I started out, right? When I started out, I wanted to find good drums, because even though I didn't know how to make a melody, I knew that drums were probably something I'd be good at. So I found this VST called Desk Drums 8-bit, right? And I gotta say, they weren't very good. As you could probably tell, I did not like these things. But honestly, hold on. What was it? I think it went down all the way here. I could probably work with them now. Hold on. If I just... This is probably a terrible idea. Ice. Like, you guys might think, oh, you know, he's probably all right now. No, I'm still terrible to this day. Fourths? I don't know about fourths. I think fourths is a little much. Eighths? Probably eighths. Probably eighths. Put down one of these. Here. I don't know. How does that sound? Like... Oh, I accidentally put on the... Like, okay, let me fucking mute this fuck-ass melody that I made. Right? And then you could loop that a bunch. That's basically your... That's your Boots and Cats. Right there. That's your Boots and Cats. That's your fucking... Right? But I didn't use these because I found them incredibly fucking annoying to use. And I know, it's I could change I could change the pitch in the pan, and there's even presets for the... I don't fucking care. I didn't like them, right? And I still don't like them to this day, even though there's this Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats or whatever. Switch to 90 BPM. That's what my other song's at, right? And I also decided the main menu thing would be at 90 BPM, so that it would sound like this, actually. Right? So, you know, who fucking cares? I found the reason I'm even able to do this right now is because I found an incredible video. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I think it's about like it's something bit music, right? And it's how to write drums for non-drummers. And I'm a non-musician almost entirely. I think the only thing I've ever done that had anything to do with music in my life was I played trombone in middle school, and that's it. So that was very helpful. I'll put it on the screen. I'll probably put it in the description. Very useful. Okay? Great. These were ass, though. And considering it was an Undertale fan game, right, I wanted it to sound like... Even though this kind of does sound like Undertale, I wanted it to really sound like Undertale. So, let me... I got this NES VST, which has DPCM, which is basically just, if I can put you in real quick, insert new MIDI item. Okay, what the fuck? I forgot what notes it plays on. Hold on. There we go. It's just drums. It's drums on the NES. Right? And it's pretty much at all the same spots. But I liked how these sounded more. So I decided I would use the NES VST instead of that bullshit. And since I wanted it to sound like Undertale, I know Toby Fox really just had the NES VST, and where is it? I think it was Magical 8-Bit Plug. Yeah, it had this as well. And that was pretty much what he used, right? Also samples and stuff on top of that. But like, so I wanted to use them too, because I thought, you know, it's Undertale, and I might as well do it, make it sound like it. So after I had laid down the drums, you know, in fact, why don't we just here's what my drums sounded like. So it took me a minute, but after I laid down the drums, right? So that's what my drums ended up sounding like. Those are my drums. Yeah, they're pretty good. I like to think my drums are pretty fucking good. I see no issue with them. Better than your classic Boots and Cats, you know? Like, better than your classic Boots and Cats. So I was like, W drums. I had wanted to get this thing called Monster. I think it was Monster Drummer. It was like a little VST, like one of those, those little beat pads that has the squares for the each beat. I was like, that looks really, really useful for this. Their site was down, and it's still down. Don't believe it when it says it only needs they need 1 day of maintenance. It's been like 4 days and it's still down. That little video roll I'm playing right now of the site being down is from today, like 3 days later. So anyway, after I learned drums, I was like, okay, but I want more drums. So I used the 8-bit, the super duper 8-bit, whatever the fuck, and I made some of these good old hi-hats. Right? And you're probably thinking, well, those sound stupid as fuck, digger. I mean, yeah, but they go pretty well with these. Right? So I'm like, all right, massive. We're really putting in some fucking work right now, bro. But I needed something that sounded musical. You know what I mean? I needed something that sounded really musical. Because all I had was drums. So I took to the internet to search for melodies. I watched a bunch of videos. I can't even put them all in here. One was an intro to music theory or whatever. It was very, very helpful. I'll find it, put in the description. It taught me what chords were. It taught me about, like octaves, stuff like that. Are people letting off fucking fireworks right now? God damn. It taught me all that stuff. And also that one video with that white guy with the glasses about how to make video game music. He was very, very helpful. That's how I found Reaper, actually. Great. He, taught me what video game music needs. It needs a melody, a counter melody, all kinds of bullshit in it, some long strings or long horns or whatever. Who fucking cares, What am I talking about? After all that, he also showed me this thing called Dexed, which is what I'm using for this piano right here. So you hear this. That shitty little thing I cooked up. That's Dexed. It's this little fucking thing. It has all these cartridges that all have different, like, let's say I clicked on this and I went for fucking E-click or whatever. Now that is what's used here. Right? It just has a shit ton of shit. It's pretty cool. You could just Google it, but maybe I'll link it in the description if you're that fucking lazy. But if you're trying to make music, you're probably not that fucking lazy. So just use Google, my guy. For all these things, just use Google, my guy. They're pretty easy to find after a while. After I spent some time learning music theory and octaves and chords and, 3/4, 1-3-5 chord, 1-3 sharp 5 chord, all that bullshit, 1-3-5-7, all that dumb fucking musical business, I was like, I'm ready. I can do this. I'm ready. You know what I mean? And then it didn't work, and then I didn't do it at all. I'll be honest. I don't think I have a single chord. I'm joking, of course. I have chords, but it didn't work out at the start. But eventually, I came up with this, right? Oh, wait, hold on. And then it loops. And I was like, okay, I utilized the power of fucking magical 8-bit plug, and I used triangle oscillators because of course I did. And then I realized, okay, well, what if I layered it with the NES version of the triangle. So now it sounds like this. Right? And you're probably thinking, well, that barely sounds different at all. And you're right. Listen how quiet these are. It's insane. I gotta turn them up by 1 billion for you to even hear them. They're so much more quiet than these. It's ridiculous. If I turn them all the way up, now they're just barely level. But now it sounds worse. Right? So I keep them lower. They're just there for a little bit of layering. If that makes sense to you. It obviously does. So now they overlap each other. And then I was like, okay, but I have all these instruments from like Dexed that were also gonna like hit a little bass line. What do I do with them? And then I was like, fuck it. So I added Smog Bass and Bass Melody from before when I was trying to make a melody. Yeah. And instead of just layering them over again to have a bunch of layers, I decided I would go for a 3/4 chord, which is a minor chord. As you can see, I think the note here was C3, yeah. And then I just went, wait, I did not go for that. Yeah, I did not do that shit right. I think I just went like 1 up. I think I just went 1 up, but who fucking cares? Oh no, wait, it's because I changed how it was, right? So I did go the right amount of space up here, but I don't think I did here. Wait, no. No, I did. I'm not stupid. That is 3, and then that's 4 above this 3. So I did do the right thing. This is a 1/3 sharp 5 or whatever. 7, it doesn't matter, right? I did it right. And now with these added, it sounds arguably better. I don't know. I'm not a musician. This isn't a tutorial. This is just me explaining what I did. And I took it away in the second bar. And then bring it back, but it's just layering this time instead of a chord. And then it comes back. And you get it. You get how it works. You understand. And then I also went to the Toby Fox school of adding instruments. So because I went to the Toby Fox school of adding instruments, it starts out just like this. And then after 1 bar of drums, this gets added. Okay, wait a minute, I fucking lied. I just remembered that the drums themselves, without ever looping, are 2 bars. So I meant after 1 play of the drums, then this comes in. But the hi-hats get to loop twice, and they get to loop for the rest of time. So after the drums finish drumming, and then they go into their loop, to distract from the fact that I played like 5 seconds at most of drums, I then add the... And then after that, I was like, okay, so whenever the people told me about, oh, you wanna make the video game music, you're gonna want these either like string instruments or horns in the back playing chords for an extended period of time. So I was like, okay, well, let me add some of that. So after we get past this section around here, I'm gonna let some of this play, and then it'll go to I'll start from here, right? After all that stuff gets added and it starts playing, then we get some horns and a brass and a woodwind. It's like a clarinet. I don't actually like how it sounds that much, especially with the that's a little better. But when it comes in, I don't know if that's better. How about this? Right. So, the horns are definitely a work in progress. I like how they come in. I like like from here, it goes, you get your, it's going like that, and then suddenly. But if only I knew how to follow up on that. I don't really understand. I don't really know how to follow up on that. Like that starting chord, mwah, that's great. That what is that? That fucking C3 root note chord. That's great because everything is C3, pretty much. Pretty much this entire song is within that kind of section of C3 so far. So everything is being played within that octave, kind of. So like that, it busting in like that is great. But then after that, I start to wane a bit. I think it's like, where is it? It's like right here. It's like A2 and C3. So it does go back to C3 and E3, but it's like I don't know. I don't like it. And then we get all the way up to C4, right? And I mean, I guess that makes sense, because it's whenever you play within like an octave, it's supposed to go from that note to that note within the next octave. So C3 to C4 makes sense. I think the lowest should be, it's G2. So, I mean, that's kind of messed up. I don't think the lowest should be outside of the octave. But it doesn't fucking matter because that's all music theory, not music fact. Okay? We're fine. This is fine. So after all that, I was like, what can I add? And somebody was like, if you add little high sounds before the start, like at the start of certain notes, but not too often, it sounds pretty good. So I was like, okay, let's see if this sounds pretty good. So I added, I don't know, let's start from like this loop. Right, so I added those little dungs because I thought, they seem pretty cool. I might just turn down the brass overall, or like just the horns in general. Let me hear this. Like, I don't want them to be overpowering. What I want to be overpowering is these. The thing that I like the most about this song is the drums. And I mean, I guess the bass line is good too, although the bass line is in of itself kind of the melody of this song, especially considering that I'm probably not going to add a melody. So, it's almost a bass line. There's this whole section up here called Gamey Sounds, which is for square or pulse oscillators, so that I can make like, an NES style melody. But I don't even know if I'm gonna actually do that. Maybe I'll do that within the battle theme. This is all for the main menu, mind you. So, yeah, it's pretty strange. But you're like thinking to yourself, okay, but what does this have to do with me making music, Mr. Not Digger? Well, nothing. This is not a tutorial. I'm not registered to teach you about music in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm not very good at music at this point. Like, it's all right. But you know you've heard a lot better, even from like indie game soundtracks. You know, you've heard so much better. But that doesn't matter because once I'm done with this project, I think I am going to make a full-on game, either using an engine like Unity or Game Maker or something, or just C++ing my fucking fist into the earth instead of Python. We will figure all that bullshit out. We got it, Chief. Trust. Subscribe, and you'll hear this song when it's finished. And maybe you'll hear about my game when I actually do my fucking business. I started making the game. I got to the fucking main menu screen, and I was like, this needs music. Basically, when you see the main menu, it's going to be looking like this. So I spent the last like 3 days trying to figure out how the fuck music works. And I didn't spend 3 days on this. This is like a 1 day, 2 day thing. And not my entire day was spent on it. Like this is a 1 day, 2 day thing. The first day I was trying to work on something else. Then a lot of second day I was trying to work on something else. I just decided that it wasn't fucking worth it. So I went and I made a whole new one to get all that other bullshit from the last one cleared out of my mind. We're on business now. We got it. So, you know, subscribe if you want to be around for when the game drops. It'll be pretty cool. And I mostly just make Pokemon content. So if you want to come for some competitive Pokemon Showdown, that's pretty chill. That's pretty lit. I will see you some other time. Eh?